knock one more domino down.
First, knock the first one down. The other one should just follow. And
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah.
We've been talking now, and obviously we know, it's your dad's company and all that, and but you work your butt off. But I mean, we were discussing things that I've been dreaming about for like 10 years, and it's like,
Thank you.
this guy,
That's counting thing.
You almost got me in trouble in there, dude.
I almost get you in trouble.
I go in there, I'm like, let me get a drink. She's like, okay, do I put it on your tab?
I know.
So like, go add it to your room? I'm like, yeah, 303. Like, that's not the room. I thought he paid for the drink.
I was gonna pay for it. And he said, put it at my room.
No, so then I'm like, no, it's 303. She was like, oh, you're sneaky. It's like, no, I share the room with the guy.
Okay, listen.
See, that's where she fucked up. I mean, like,
No, she said, hey, she said, oh, that's not the room number he gave me. I was like, oh, he lied to you. Oh, listen, and I said, hold on, what are you talking about? The guy in the range station? She said, yeah. I said, that's not the guy in my room. I said, shit, you didn't even tell me about me the drink. I gotta go say thank you. So thank you.
oh, you're welcome.
There you go. So, how many techs are your company now? You got a really nice operation the way you guys run this. Smooth.
We have 14 residential routes right now.
14 routes. And how many service managers you have?
Oh, one.
One service manager. Listen to this, guys.
She's a rock star.
And she's a rock star.
Tiffany Bray.
All right. So you've got,
Hey,
you don't even, this is not a babysitting game.
No.
I mean, these are like to only have one service manager. And then you also have a lead tech guy that fixes everything, like, big heavy stuff.
Supervisor.
Field supervisor. That's it. And that's pretty much it. And how many salespeople you got?
13, 14. 13 with some residential renewal inspectors.
Now, people are scratching their head going, he's got almost more salespeople than he has techs. Him.
I was gonna say I have the same amount because my techs are sales reps.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's two different operations.
I don't have to pay this.
Yeah. Two different. But you focus
I
on.
don't know that good news is about to be down one business development manager.
Yeah.
Has control of about to be plus one.
Yeah. You're about to get poached. Yeah. You're getting poached.
Don't let Pop see this, though.
Yeah. That
Now just opened up another branch in Sarasota.
Yeah. We do everything.
But your dad's company's been around for how many years?
Yeah, 35 years.
35 years.
39.
So, but it's a really neat operation because you got the technicians, you've got, you don't have to be on top of these people. Do they schedule themselves?
They do.
They schedule themselves.
Sales and service, both.
Sales and service. All right. So they do both.
They route themselves.
Look at that. I know it is. I mean, it's totally brilliant. This is like, you got like my dream company that if I was going to build a big company, that's how I would build it. Except I don't got 35 years.
All the credit to my dad and the team that he's built because he has laid the groundwork for this and built it over 35 years.
Yeah, no, that's
and John Macy, the founder, with him. Can't forget him.
So he started out with a partner.
John started it. My dad joined pretty early on. John retired, and my dad's had it for between 25 and 30 years.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a neat story. And you guys, we were talking about that you do no marketing.
Well, I mean, I'm doing a lot of marketing.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't do any more.
Yeah.
No.
We do some TV advertising and some radio, but a lot of it comes from word of mouth.
Right.
And from referrals.
Right.
Oh, yeah. We have a whistle.
Where'd you get it from?
Whistle.
What's the guy's name? Han Coleman or whatever? No, we wrote it. It's a whistle. But, yeah. So
the guy that sold the freaking OxyClean.
There you go. ShamWow. He's got Mr. T in the background.
He's doing lines of piping.
But, I mean, what drives the whole thing and has for all those years is doing those WDO inspections, those 13645 inspections. We do 200 to 300 of them every month. And those are all people moving into new homes. So it's good to make a first impression.
Right. And that's been the strategy for marketing
from the
beginning. So you stuck with one really good system that worked. Because everybody's out there, and for us small guys, we're like, well, do we do the SEO? And yeah, right. And I'm going to get to you next. And then we do like SEO, and then can we do ads? And can you do LSA? And can you do this? And can you do that? And they're just like, you started out doing it for free.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even.
And then you're like, at one point, you're like, okay, we need to charge something for this.
Yeah.
Because you were getting what? Taken advantage of?
We did them for 25 years for free, and that was the standard in our area, in between Tampa and Fort Myers, in that area, free inspections for real estate transactions.
Right.
And then about 10 years ago, we started to charge a little bit, and that eliminated some of the people taking advantage of that free inspection for a condo that was already under contract with another company that we had no opportunity to earn any business from.
Right.
Question: do you still offer the free inspection if they go with a termite preventative or a termite treat?
We give them a discount off of the initial service.
So you just waive you just make the termite inspection into a discount. So if it was $150, you just give them a $150 discount off.
Just a partial discount, not a full rebate. Yeah, just partial.
We just give them.
Yeah. Well, and we did that for a time when we were charging, $25, $40, $50. We were doing that. But now that we're charging $75.
If I didn't pay my loan, I'd be free.
Yeah. And I'm not going to show numbers because I don't want to talk about numbers on the air because that's not cool.
Okay.
But you were sharing some numbers with us that, were pretty impressive.
Thanks.
That's like...
Well, I can't take the credit.
No, but I'm saying is, your company, whatever they're doing, people say it can't be done. You have to do something else. You got to be like spending 25% of budget. I get it. You're a 35-year-old company. You're established.
Yeah.
It's big different than the guy starting up brand new today. But you can take the principle. You can use that, and you can build a large company, and you can do it with not have to grow it quickly because it obviously didn't go quickly. And you can do a lot of the things people say can't be done. Like I'm getting into now. I'm getting my termite, and I was looking at what strategy do I use, and I borrow a lot of that to be able to say, okay, yeah, I can charge a little bit, but if we have a good sales process, you have to have a sales process, and you gotta like with the end in mind, and say you have a good sales process in place, and now you can turn that into a lot. Because it was like you're doing like really little marketing, but your salespeople are driving, and most of those leads are coming from your existing clientele.
That's right. And strategic partners in the community, like realtors, lenders, home inspectors, other people, HVAC companies, home watchers, those people that have their own, property management companies, HOA communities, those that already have relationships with the communities that we want to be in, and just doing a great job for them. They'll continue to refer us.
Right. And in your job, what do you do?
They call me the ambassador.
Okay.
So I'm casting a wide net all throughout our service area, meeting as many people as I can strategically in places like the chambers of commerce, realtor boards, associations and groups, HOA communities, network marketing and lead exchange groups, and just sharing the good news everywhere I go. Making friends, helping people as much as I can, making a good, hopefully putting a face to the company in the community so that when we could not put his face on your company, it would tank it.
And you make friends, I make enemies.
Yeah. So.
Well, you have no competition.
Well, we got two other companies here today in my service area, and we're sitting around smoking a cigar together. Not talking trash about each other.
Yeah, of course. And me and him, we talk just about every day. We kind of like we're challenging ourselves every day to see how we're pushing each other to be better.
That's right. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah. So we've been doing that for a while. For like almost 4 years?
Yeah.
It's Proverbs 27:17.
Yeah. Flashcards in it.
Yeah.
So I turn them off all over strongly.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all my flashcards and I'm gonna frame them. So that's a really cool. Obviously, you couldn't do a lot of that if you were doing if you were me. Like I'm at a point where I can start doing that. But this has been part of my thinking because I'm much better a salesperson on building a relationship long term, which I can't really do over the phone with marketing because it's very transactional.
Right.
You call me, you want a quote, I give you a quote, and then I build my relationship, and then I keep you for 17 years, which is what we do.
Exactly.
Because we give good service.
Right.
With you,
all of our salespeople are outside salespeople.
Yeah.
They're coming out of somebody's home, explaining to them what we're going to do, how we're going to solve the problem, and what to expect, and creating that relationship. And what do you mean? Asking everything. I said if we could help anybody else they know.
Right. Yeah, that's like an old sales model. I mean, your dad's using a sales model that I learned when I first got into sales.
Right.
Is, hey, do you know 3 people that can benefit from Lucerne?
That's right.
And you can just get 3. Don't ask for 10.
No.
Because they won't be able to. Like, I remember when I started, it was, give me a list of 10 people.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it got dwindled down to 3.
Yep.
Now can you just think of one person you know?
Yeah.
Because everybody's on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows their neighbor. Do you find that you're in your area that people are tight-knit community that they know their neighbors?
Yes.
They do. See, in Miami, nobody knows who they are.
Okay. Really? Okay.
Yeah, nobody knows who they are. Then, dude, why don't you just order a pitcher with a sprout?
Close out. Stop the fight.
Yeah, I'm finding that there's, they say there's 6 degrees of separation.
Right. Or 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
That's right.
Okay.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I think it's about 2 degrees in our town.
It's really tight knit.
It's a small town that's grown recently, but I'm been a lifelong local.
Right.
So those degrees shrink down quite a bit.
Right.
I can find common ground with just about everybody.
Yeah, we were discussing that. I'll get into that because my audience knows.
Or cow's name.
Yeah.
There you go.
They see a picture of a Moscow and they go, oh, Mr. Fluffy, I know where you go.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. They steal your
So you gotta
You over the fence, didn't he?
and your salespeople, your salespeople don't do cold calling.
Well, right now we've had enough to go out and do every day that we haven't had to rely on that. Now that could be something that would open up a whole nother stream of income. But
Right. But you're feeding so many
right now
needs.
we do enough
the voice company.
termite inspections every day that the pipeline is always full.
Right.
So we're just right now just trying to take good care of those leads that are already in the pipeline and try and get them down the funnel to the bottom and take really good care of those opportunities we already have. If we could capitalize on those opportunities and close an even better percentage of those opportunities with just basic pest control or bundle it with termite protection or, add on rodent protection, mosquito control, tack insulation, any of those things that we do, then, you don't need to be doing thousands of dollars worth of advertising every month. You just need to divert that money into
It does that all the time.
employees on the inside.
Right.
It'll make those.
Yeah. And so, everybody's obviously, it's harder to hire than it used to be.
Sure.
It's not easy for anybody, even if you're large.
Yep.
What I'm finding is a lot of the larger companies that have already grown and blown up, they're already looking at selling because it's just much easier to sell it now.
Yeah.
And get out and not keep trying to hire people and grow it. It's brutal. It really is. So what do you do? Like, how do you recruit your people? How are you guys doing that?
A lot of it, almost everybody that we've hired in the last couple of years has come from referrals from inside our company, from other
It's like this year raw.
Right.
and people that work for us that have worked with somebody else in the past that they, know would fit well into our model and our culture.
Right.
Or just friends and family and things that, that almost everybody comes to us from a referral from inside, either from our employees or from our customers.
Right.
But then also I'm out there making friends all the time, and I meet people that are absolutely the right person, but they may just have no experience in pest control. And I tell them, man, I can teach you pest control in a short amount of time. The bugs never change.
Right. If not,
Well,
we got more.
Yeah, we got some more coming in, but the ones that we've got aren't changing. And
Pest control.
so, yeah, if you've got the chops,
Pretty much.
pest control is a great business.
Like you were talking somewhere around, you were talking to financial guys.
Yeah.
Tell me about that story.
Yeah, so one of my best friends was in the insurance industry, selling life insurance and other annuities and things. And that's a business where you have to go out and produce. You have to go out and find business, and you're cold calling and you're scraping for everything you can at the beginning, especially. And
Always say,
he likes to work outside. He likes to work with his hands. He's very, very mechanically inclined. And I said, man, I got so much. I was selling at the time. I had so much I couldn't get to it every day. I was staying up till midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, just trying to get proposals out from the opportunities I had.
Right.
I said, man, if you wanted like 10 leads tomorrow, I could give it to you overnight.
Right.
And actually, he came to me originally asking about pest control because he liked our business.
Right.
But I said, hey, you'll never be slow. You'll always have something to do. If you want to go out and make money, there's 10 different ways to do it every day of the week.
Right.
If you're hungry,
Looks like 8.
it's there. And so that's a great transition for somebody coming from, if you're trying to get past a gatekeeper and get into a company, business to business or business to consumer, and it's tough, hard you got to sell somebody on what you do. Man, come to Pest Control. You don't have to sell anybody on what you do. They come to you asking for it, and all you have to do is do it well.
Yeah.
They'll be all right.
I've never believed that as a salesperson. I was a salesperson since I got into sales, I think about 22.
Yeah.
And I did it till, they have probably till I was almost, 30. So I was in a long time, and then I'm still in sales.
Yeah.
But I've never been the one that I feel I have to convince you or push you.
Right.
I don't have to twist your arm. Football game. If I do my job right, if I work for the right company that has a really good product that I have to believe in, I can just. I'm more of an offerer than and a facilitator.
Right.
See myself as that than a pushy salesman. Because we can go to that. You left the business and went to sell cars.
I did.
Yeah, I mean, and you sold some nice cars. You weren't a used car salesman, were you?
No, people were coming to me looking for their dream car, and I was just helping them determine what package gave them what they needed.
Oil salesman.
I had a lot of fun.
You sell cedar side. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say? I'm not.
cedar siding. Don't worry, the carpenter bees hate this shit.
No, it's nature side, right? That was it.
Nature side.
Yeah.
And shots fired.
Yeah, shots fired. Anyway, so you went and sold cars, and you were living up north in Georgia, in Atlanta.
Yep.
All right, nice market.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were selling what, Audi?
Well, we had 4 Audi dealerships.
Yeah.
In that town, and so you had to differentiate yourself. But I just loved cars.
Right.
And I had a best friend that we started in the business at the same time. And man, we would quiz each like the flashcards that you've got for this test. Every little difference in horsepower, all that spec. Yeah. We would just quiz each other. Like, okay, you want the 3-liter supercharged V6, and you wanted to have the Audi adaptive cruise control. What package do you need on the A7?
Okay.
And
what because people who buy Audis can afford to pretty much to buy whatever they want.
That's right.
I mean, you can go from a BMW to a Mercedes. Now it's just degrees.
Yeah.
Like whether you're going to afford, a $300,000 Audi or
right.
a $56,000 Audi.
Yep.
So it's not like they want the car. Like I need a car to get me to work.
No.
I want this.
Yeah.
And I can afford it, and I don't care.
It's a luxury item.
It's a luxury item. So walk me through, because I compare what I sell to selling that kind of vehicle. I've always been like the most expensive guy.
Old Brit of a Capri.
Yeah, a Capri Classic. A Capri Classic, okay?
With a rag top.
With a rag top. Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's right. But I dropped mine and put hydraulics, and then I got 20-inch wheels on it.
Nice.
Yeah. So walk me through what that sale looks like.
Yep.
In the automobile when you're selling a luxury item like that. Because that's how I feel. I sell a luxury item. Sure. Nobody needs eco-friendly pest control.
Yep.
When I'm one of 2 guys in a 280 with 1,700 techs.
Yeah.
People are calling me because they want what I have.
Right.
So I don't feel I have to sell. I just feel like I have to explain to the client our benefits and our our value proposition.
Yep.
And then let them decide if that's for them.
Sure.
And then, so walk me through a sale at an Audi. What does that look like when somebody says, I want to buy a luxury car?
Sure.
I laid there with
Well, a lot of times they've seen it on the road,
Right.
or they've seen a friend that had something that they really liked, and so they come in to get a closer look at it, or maybe they've already done all the shopping online and they have an idea of exactly what they like.
Right.
They come in to experience it. They want to sit in it. They want to drive it. They want to feel it. But most of the time, they're pretty decided already on what they want.
Right.
So, at some dealerships, I just don't have the selection on site to make that happen, but you can piece it together. So I'll give you one example. I had somebody come in that was buying a car for his wife, and it was going to be a luxury present. It was going to be, it wasn't a surprise. They came in together, but they saw the S5, and they wanted an S5, but they wanted it all black. They wanted it to look like the Batmobile.
Got it. Did they
So-
want it stealth? That stealth?
Very stealth. They wanted the badges removed.
Right.
They wanted some custom touches to it. It was not matte. It was a
And that was Audi upselling the products.
matte black. Use the matte black.
yeah. You can't. I mean, they even have some factory options for matte now, but at the time they didn't.
Right.
So we drove
You go
a handful, and the one thing that Audi had that a lot of people didn't, outside of Audi, was the best all-wheel drive system you could have.
Right.
So taking that around the corner at the right speed and feeling that on the on-ramp, and then just the power you had up to highway speed like that, and just the performance.
Right.
They would say all the time, this car does things that no other car does.
Right.
And so feeling that in the driver's seat around that corner and just feeling totally in control at whatever speed you want to be going, that was what they wanted. And they wanted to look
It's a step into the chat.
It was Georgia. It was right across from me.
Yeah.
Right across from Dobbins Air Force Base. A C-130s would fly over our dealership and shake the dealership. Oh,
wow.
That's cool. But anyway,
The Highway Patrol Virginia,
we found what they wanted.
Right.
We didn't have it in stock, but we could custom order it.
I will tell you.
And they could pick it up in Germany if they wanted. That was the coolest thing. You could have it ordered, built in Germany. You take a European delivery, right? You go over to Germany, land there. They put you up in a nice 4-star hotel in Munich. You go pick up your car at the dealer or at the manufacturing plant, and then you can drive it for up to a month in Europe.
Oh, wow.
And then they ship it back, and you come back. So that's a special program Audi has.
Right.
And so,
It's spread
yeah,
out.
they custom ordered this thing, got to drive it around Europe on the Autobahn,
He said, well,
Nice.
and then and see the factory, see where everything's made. It was a really cool experience. And then come back, and then I had the car
what's a jet?
custom tinted,
It
badges
was like
removed,
an hour 70.
just detailed to the nines,
Right.
looking perfect, and
Jack
just
in front of me.
in the bay, ready for delivery when they arrived together. Had a nice big bow on the hood,
Did they pull up next
and they were thrilled.
lights in the side?
Yeah, I still stay in touch with those guys.
One that was over in.
We exchanged Christmas cards. I mean, this was 2012.
Right.
I was a car salesman, and me and them exchanged Christmas cards still every year.
Wow. That's cool.
That was the kind of level of service that you could give at a brand like that.
Right.
And they wanted you to. They wanted you to spend an hour with that customer, sitting in the passenger seat while they're in the driver's seat, customizing all the preferences and all the multimedia interface and all the seat settings, and teaching them every little thing about what that car can do before they drive it away, so that they get the full experience and they're not looking at a owner's manual trying to figure out, or not even knowing sort of the functionality of the car.
Right.
So I'd sit with everybody and do that. It's fun. And so that's kind of what translated to pest control. It's like, I want to know everything about what we do. I want to know everything about the bugs. I want to know everything about the products and how it all works. And that way, I'm just educating people, educating them on the options, educating on what I would do if it was my house, what I would do if it was my parents' house.
Yeah, and I love that you said you were educating people on options instead of, because a lot of people see upselling as shoving product down people's throat that they don't need.
No.
And I think that if you take that attitude, I'm just showing you the options. You can say no, and it's okay. But most people are afraid to do that and look at it from that perspective.
Well, take it back to Audi. If you had a build sheet and you had, a line item list of everything you could add to each of those packages, they might see something that catches their eye 4 lines down that they didn't even know existed.
Right.
But they're going to add it.
Right.
If you give somebody a menu of services and say, this is everything that we can do for you, look this over. We'll obviously address everything that you have a concern about right now.
Right.
But you might see something on here that you have a question about. Take a look at that while I'm doing this inspection.
How did the racing stripes add?
About 15.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. If we angle the mirrors just a little bit, you can get 2 more miles an hour.
Yeah.
But we were talking because he asked you a question about how do we upsell all these options when we're in the home, and you had well, why don't just the tech, if he's not a salesperson, why don't you just create a menu for him that while you're doing that initial service, you leave it with the client so they're looking it over, and then they can decide if they want to add anything to that service while you're there. And then because what I know from sales is when people are buying, that's the time that they want to buy more. Because once that problem is solved and they're done, it's kind of like that wave. The time to sell, do you want to buy a jacket?
Yeah.
You want to buy, the audio eyeglasses?
Yeah.
People will buy that because they can.
Mm-hmm.
Ferrari gloves. There you go.
Buy the gloves if you have a Ferrari.
Yeah. There you go.
I'd buy
Buy them in a Maserati.
Exactly.
everybody that bought an Audi from me. I'd go to the service department where they had all the swag, and I'd let them pick out one item that they wanted to come with their car, and I'd buy that for them, and that would come out of my pocket.
Right.
But then you know what? Most of the time, they'd see 2 or 3 other things that they want, and so the service department would benefit. But then that'd be a nice little gift from me, and so I do that kind of stuff with our customers too.
How much did that really cost you?
Oh, just pennies on what the commission was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so,
Well, and it paid dividends in the referral that I'd get. Their friend would come in the next week and say, hey, I was talking to John, and he had this sweet Audi shirt on or this Audi watch on.
right.
And I asked him about it. He said to come see you.
There you go. So now, how do you take, because obviously you learned a lot from that experience of walking away from the company.
Yep.
And getting into that sales job and coming back now to the company and with a different mindset.
Right.
Because, things have always been done one way.
Sure.
And you come up with new, fresh ideas. What do you think that experience taught you in something that you're doing now?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you translate that? Because other people, well, that's a luxury car. I sell pest control. And people look at pest control like a commodity. I tried to sell, I don't sell a commodity. I took something that was commoditized and I decommoditized it.
Right.
Made it a necessity.
And made it a want item.
It's a luxury item.
Yeah.
It's a need.
It's a need. But they've got 280 companies to choose from.
That's right.
They could choose anybody they want.
Well, that's why you got to sell yourself.
Yeah.
Bro, that's just, we have like 1,800 in Miami.
No, there's 281 companies in Miami. There's 1,700 techs. Between Dade and Broward, there's 500 companies.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many of them are Long Beach, State, and Broward?
I haven't looked at Palm Beach. Palm Beach actually has less.
Are those legal companies?
Well, no, those are the ones that are registered. I mean, you could probably add another 100.
About 700.
Yeah, right. 700 companies, that we're working. But, it's people, technicians, what I deal with I would say that probably 90% of my audience, plus 90 plus, is a technician that came off a truck.
Yeah.
He didn't know anything about operations, didn't know anything about sales, didn't know about marketing. He was a technician. He was a good technician.
Yep.
But then he thought that the technical work is everything, and he doesn't know how to sell. Sure. He can sell himself. Like if somebody is in front of him, he's great at the one-on-one.
Yep.
But going out and do what you do and basically doing strategic sales, which is hard. It's all hard. Every sale is hard. It's just different at different levels. And requires different experiences.
Sure.
What do you think that you brought back from that experience that you're now trying or have been able to do something with that with your brand that you're now doing?
One direct correlation was I started in the internet sales department
Okay.
at the dealership.
Okay.
At the time, they didn't have one.
Right.
I was the first one.
Okay.
So I was the test pilot.
Okay.
And basically my job was to...
And in the car business, you were a crash test dummy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I was responding to everybody that reached out for information about our dealership or any of the cars that were in stock. And so I would be the information. They would ask questions. I would reply with information and then just generate a relationship enough that when they were ready to step foot in the dealership, that I would set an appointment with them for the sales team.
Right.
So that was my first month and my second month. By my second month, so many people were coming into the dealership asking to work with Adam
Right.
that they're like, all right, we'll give you your own desk in the showroom
Right.
and we'll promote you to the showroom floor. And
I'm with track.
being responsive to those and being willing to, learn all the information up front so that I had the answers
Right.
and getting it to people when being available and being interested in, providing all that at a high level.
Right.
They would come in looking for me because there were so many other options. It is a commodity. A car is a commodity, especially a new car.
Right.
New car, you can get it from anywhere. But just being, if somebody reached out, no matter what time of day or night, getting them a quick response or at least setting up the processes in place so that something automated went to them and they knew what to expect, when I was going to get back to them. That one person internet department turned into a whole room, a business development center, where they had a whole team of people doing that, responding to internet leads, giving internet quotes, and driving traffic to the showroom. And so I know that we could do the same thing in our business. We don't currently.
Right.
But the sales process that I have now,
Right.
that I was a sales manager for a time at our company,
Right.
that blueprint in my mind of what people want
Right.
when they reach out to a company
Right.
came directly from my experience of, talking to hundreds and hundreds of people and following up with hundreds and hundreds of people on a weekly, if not, more often basis than that.
Right.
And example is for, a lot of times in our business, there's always another customer asking you for something. So the person that asked you for something a week ago and that didn't respond to you
Right.
can fall through the cracks.
Right.
The car business is sticky.
Right.
They will not let you go until you say no 10 times.
Right.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to pressure people like that.
Right.
But there's a healthy re-engagement campaign
Right.
that you can put in place with automation
Right.
and with just, care.
Right.
That you reach back out to somebody, they're never lost
Right.
until they tell you for sure that they're lost.
Right.
But even after they go with somebody else, give that other company a little while, they may make a mistake.
Right.
And if the door is always open for them to come back and you have them on a newsletter or some kind of engagement with your social media, anything like that,
Right.
then you're top of mind again.
Right.
Give me the first chance to be your second chance.
Right. Yeah. Top of mind awareness and pest control is hard because most companies are doing quarterly services.
It's true.
So they're only, because think about this. What I tell people is, look, your pool guy is there every 2 weeks.
Sure.
Or every week.
Or a week.
Yeah, every week. Your landscaper is either weekly or every other week.
Yep.
And pest control is the only one that's there every month, every 2 months, or every quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, one-time services or one-time termite treatment.
Sure.
So yeah, I was talking to what was his name? That came with us too. He was here, but he hasn't come down.
Towers?
Yeah. So he was talking. He was talking to me about I'm doing exclusion work. It says, have you done anything about selling a reinspection and a warranty with the exclusion with a reinspection?
Yeah.
So it's a way to keep every year, keep coming back and
That's right.
sell it, for a renewal. It's like you do Termite. So there's recurring revenue everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
We just have to get past that stigma of we're being pushy because there's a classy, tasteful way.
Right. You got to add value somewhere.
Yeah.
So what I'm sending out is, tips and tricks on how to, in between services, how to keep your home bug free, how to identify certain problems in your garden, recipes, things like that, things that people are interested in.
Right.
But also, you know what? I mean, we're sharing the good news. We're sharing God's good
Yeah, man, I love that because you handed that to me. That's the Gospel of John.
Yeah.
And you just give it to people.
Yeah.
And you're evangelizing.
Every morning at about 5:30 to 6:30, our field supervisor, Dan, that I told you about, that could be in somebody's house praying with them if there's something going on in their lives. He sends out the good news every morning on our Facebook page. And
Nice.
it's
What's on your account?
something out of scripture directly.
I was like, I don't know.
And so, somebody can interact with that on a daily basis.
Right.
Whether they're going to see their technician that month or not, they see that every day.
See, because most guys are like, okay, I need to come up with a clever idea. I need to come up with a gimmick. I said, it's not a gimmick. It's how do you create value? And value is, what does your audience value?
Right.
What do they value? And your values, you're in a community where your values are similar. You're a believer and a large of your community. So
The first time she came past, she goes, "You want to close out?"
you can offer value.
Right.
And let's talk about, like, she comes back and like, what do you think is your differentiating factor in your company with every other company? Because every major brand is here.
That's true. Well, I mean, on the surface level,
Right.
one of them is that not a lot of companies want to do WDO inspections for real estate transactions.
Yes.
It's
What do you think? You're
full
smoking spice? K2?
of opportunities for liability.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of liability in that potentially.
Right.
What's faces on the
And
internet?
especially if you're doing a lot of them.
Right.
We're doing a lot of them.
Right.
So that differentiates us right off the bat. Realtors, brokers, lenders, home inspectors, property managers, home washers, all of those groups
They'd be like, "Oh no,
need reliable inspections.
Right.
And so if we're doing those reliable inspections, then the pipeline is full, for the next 30 to 60 days, always.
Right.
So that differentiates us. That's one that there's probably only 5 companies in our whole area that do that.
Right.
So we went from however many hundreds of companies to 5 in no time.
Right.
But then outside of that, well, number one, we have a track record of 35 years
Right.
of good reputation and good service,
Right.
good news.
Right.
So that helps. But also, like, the team that we have built over the years, they're all superstars.
Right.
I mean, we're not babysitting. We're all collaborating to create more.
Right.
And so the service people are getting is excellent. And the people that we have, we want to be the employer of choice in the area. We want people to come to us to, experience the trust that ownership can put in somebody
Right.
to do their job and to do it well and to encourage them to go out and make it happen. Not just be a number on a spreadsheet,
Right.
and a number of jobs every day. And so it's certainly, for as much criticism people get for saying that, oh, this is our family, our employees are a family and we treat them like family. Sometimes people take that the wrong way.
Right.
It really, I mean, my dad for my whole life has been the biggest supporter and cheerleader for the people that make up our company. Everybody gets the credit for what we've done as a team. We rally together every month all together and give each other kudos for what was done well. We have a really clearly defined goal every month,
Right.
that everybody's working towards together. And, if we succeed in that, we all share in that.
Girl for you. What are you doing?
Make it smart. I'll take another one. Okay. Double knee.
And Adam,
Just a water for me.
to stay out of hand.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's real.
Fun.
And I'll take a bottle of water too.
Thank you.
I'll take a water, but I'll go and grab it. So that way, walk out with well, we only have hands. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have to know what's going on. Okay. I'm focusing on
Who sucks?
pure shots.
No.
He's very old fashioned.
And a keyboard.
Right? Okay.
No.
Tree's on fire.
No, I know.
Fuck.
I know.
That's Mr. 305.
I put on through.
I'm not 305.
That's Pitbull.
Anyway, Bill.
Well, big one like that.
Yeah.
So here's the fashion. You're getting with the
Double makers.
and you're getting some of the count.
I paid.
I know, but dude, the sun done.
Yeah, dude, but you look like you've been rode hard to put away wet.
Well, it's easy.
I prefer it that way. And whipped and puffed.
50 and now, so I can go to other sellers.
Thanks, Chelsea.
I think I'm more confused than you are.
So he was three.
Oh yeah.
It's June, so it's confusing.
But the guy inside, I guess the guy inside,
Poor girl. Just go in there and help her. I'm coming for the water.
you already know what I want to
Can you help her? Remind her, Maker's Mark, old fashioned,
It's like,
water for him.
you said, okay, fine, I'll water.
But it's water free.
No,
Well,
get up.
not bottled water.
No, I'll take bottled water because I drank the water in Orlando. It tastes like it came out of an irrigation.
You know, the Apopka Lake is famous for being serious. It's famous for pollution.
Yeah, I know. It tastes like sulfur.
Like Flint, Michigan.
There's daters there, bro, with like 2 fingers on their hands, and they have like 2 whites.
Because of all the propellers.
All their eggs are like they won't hatch. They'll lay eggs, but they don't hatch. The heat goes out.
Well, all I know is it's like drinking water out of what do you call that? Out of well, in Miami.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, well water is good, man.
Yeah, not in Miami, but it tastes like rotten eggs. I took a shower like,
Sulfur.
ew, it stinks.
It's just bougie.
I am bougie.
You really take water with like that Avion, huh?
His roaches have Louis Vuitton on there.
I dress them all up.
He walked in the house and they go, it's called Stogies. What
Yeah. So where the heck were we? Before we got derailed, like a freight
We're talking
train
about-
that breaks.
We're talking about differentiators.
Differentiators. Spell that. No, I ain't doing that. I'm gonna write a card for it.
I got to be able to read it.
Yeah, I know I can. I can read my own writing. Nobody else can.
Well, you couldn't. you try to read
There was twice I couldn't read it. What the hell did I write?
White guy.
Oh,
Hey, you forgot to tell everyone about the monsoon that you had to cross to get over here.
I know. Yeah, I'll get to that because we're getting another one. Yeah, the banana boat.
Banana. I don't get a penalty. He actually pulled out he had a little raft that you put on. It's got you slide on the little floaties.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody's always the hot topic always on, in all the groups in the pest control group.
Yeah.
Is how do you compensate people? Like, the guy who doesn't know how to manage and doesn't want to manage, he wants to somehow abdicate. Like if I just hire a technician with experience and I pay him production,
Mhm.
he's going to produce because he's not going to slack off.
Right.
And that's a myth. And to me, that's a myth really.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That if you just get a tech because then the other side of that is he's going to finish as fast as he can and then you end up with a bunch of problems.
Sure.
And the idea is that if you just pay straight production, that guy is going to do a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found is it's not conducive to building teamwork.
Oh, okay.
That's been my experience.
Yeah.
I've worked both commission and salary.
Sure.
And if the only thing you worry about is your production commission,
Yeah.
then when I need you to share and help somebody else, you're like, no, because
Sure.
I don't make anything on production. And you got to have this whole structure where you share.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So whether you're one guy, no problem. How much did you sell this when you're the only tech?
Right.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Then when I need them, like, hey, can you go do this? Well, why do I have to pick a product? Why do I have to do this? Why do I got to do the oil change on the car?
Yeah.
My guys have to, they have to wash, they have to get their vehicle cleaned, run themselves. Yep. They got to take it to the dealer, get the tires rotated,
Maintenance, yeah.
the maintenance. If anything breaks, obviously, hey, send it in.
Yep.
They carry company cards.
Yep.
So what's been your what's your experience and what do you guys do? Because I know you got compensation for a lot of things.
Sure.
What do you kind of do and what do you think it's of work? Because obviously it's working because you ain't got half the issues that I see in the industry, or at least less than 90% of them.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
probably a lot of that is related to the care
Right.
that management at large gives to the whole team. Everybody feels supported.
Right.
I mean, our org chart literally is flipped upside down. with ownership at the bottom,
Right.
supporting everybody, and then everybody in tenure up and up and up and up. So,
What is this?
So you have
very
you have a servant leadership in Dallas.
yes.
Okay.
And
That's we'll start.
and our technicians are being paid on production.
Okay.
We have some technicians that are paid hourly because they're doing specialty work like rodents and termites and things that are
That's it. It's oddly.
more not as consistently scheduled. They're scheduled as they're sold. So those have a hourly component plus opportunities for bonuses based on KPIs.
Got it.
So so there's KPIs mixed in with both the residential technicians, the hourly technicians, the CSRs in the front office. Everybody has their own KPIs and they're all tailored to what you pay attention to improves. So we put the KPIs into the areas that we're looking for improvement.
Right.
And obviously then they are rewarded for improving the things that we are working on together as a team. And then we all celebrate the win when it all comes together and we hit those goals.
So it's here on the
Got your thing.
like down when I like
Like a freaking cat.
guys. Man, I told the girl that his room was 604. Yeah, but she was like 604. 604? Where's that? No 604.
Poor girl. She's brand new.
Poor Chelsea. Poor Chelsea.
Yeah.
She's talking to some people I don't even know. And she was like, I hear 303. I was like, what?
What?
I'm gonna end up with a $900 bill from 600.
That's what he said. And I was like, my room's 303 now too.
No, I should for a water stick, really? No, it's chill. But yeah, like it's not. So he gives me a bottle of water. So no, I don't want bottles. The guy out there, bougie, he'll take the bottles. Give me a glass of water. Give me the fresh bottle of water.
There you go.
Yeah. So you've got bonuses.
Yeah.
That you pay your people.
KPIs that they get, spiffs on each month.
Yeah.
And then those can be adjusted based on what our focus is month to month.
Okay.
Yeah. But overall, there's, like you said, a servant leadership mentality from the top down, or from the bottom up, I should say.
Right.
And we see teamwork all the time. Somebody has a
Forward, you're ready for it out.
unfortunate circumstance. They have to be out of work for whatever reason. A lot of it just gets absorbed by the rest of the team that wants to help out, and they're not asking for extra. They just want to help that person through whatever circumstance.
So it comes down to culture.
It comes down to culture.
Yeah.
We have a culture coach, full-time staff.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. He happens to be a pastor.
Okay.
But yeah, he's part of every meeting. He's in every meeting. He's leading part of a meeting monthly.
Right.
That's focused specifically on the good news way. Right. Which is backed up by scripture in every asset, every factor. So that's it.
Yeah. So so when you create a culture, you attract the people that want to fit that culture.
Right.
You don't have to got a piece that you're trying to fit into something that doesn't fit.
That's right.
And everybody knows what that culture is.
Yeah.
Does any of your techs and your people get involved in any of the hiring process? Like when they take somebody out, like this guy's going to work out, this guy's not.
Yes. Yeah. So there's
I know the hiring things 1 second. Yeah, Bill.
the first part of somebody's new hire orientation is spending time in every department.
Right.
So they ride with somebody in every department. And sometimes that's a manager. Sometimes it's a technician or a salesperson or, sitting in the front office with one of the CSRs. And so everybody gets that experience of seeing from the moment somebody reaches out to our company or we reach out to them through the sales process, through the service process, and then back around. They get to see that firsthand and see some of the things that people are faced with as obstacles and hurdles that they have to work through on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
Some of the fun that they get to have as part of, what makes that job unique and interesting and what people
Can the office people ride sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great because that way they're not scheduling callbacks for one.
That's right.
Do when you have like You have like a meeting on a regular basis where everybody joins?
Yes. Yep.
What does that look like?
It's probably a little different than a lot of other meetings.
Okay.
In other companies, but my dad usually MCs the meeting.
Okay.
He'll open it up, but then our culture coach, pastor, will come in and literally open up some lesson, mostly from scripture,
Right.
or at least stories that are related, and we'll we're sharing the good news with the whole team
Right.
during that time, and then taking prayer requests from customers and from employees and their families and friends and anybody that we know that we need to be coming alongside and supporting. And then we give kudos through open time. We read every day. We get all the reviews, either internal reviews or Google reviews or whatever reviews. They get shared with the whole team on a daily basis, and everybody piles on with the congratulations on these good reviews.
Right.
And then we share those in the team meeting too. And then just, popcorn, raise up a hand and give somebody kudos for, something that you saw them doing, catching other people doing amazing service or doing, yes. Anyway.
Because I've always found that in coaching and in a lot of companies have like service tech meetings.
Yeah.
And then they have their CSR meetings and sales meetings, and nobody ever joins together and knows what the whole team needs, because a lot of times you see, well, the CSRs, or the CSRs get blamed for a lot of things that, in all fairness, they don't understand what the tech goes through in the field.
Of course.
And I think you can't have empathy for somebody and understand if you don't understand what they do.
Right.
So you're like, well, you schedule a job at 1 hour, but it takes an hour and a half to drive there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be late.
Right.
So in your case, your guys do all of that scheduling themselves.
Yeah, except for the specialty technicians.
Specialty technicians.
Those are scheduled by the office. Right. Yep.
So everybody is like, the sales guy sold this job. How does he expect me to solve this problem? And it's not solvable.
Right.
So I think that if you ever have everybody in a room,
yes,
and everybody can understand, what the heartaches are. It isn't like grievances. It's like, well, there's a certain, difficulty in doing what every department does.
Yes.
Thank you. No, ma'am.
Just water for me. Yes.
I get Geek got the bottle of water.
Oops. Yeah, I think and then the other thing is training.
Yes.
I mean, there's virtually almost no time for training at any company.
It can be hard.
It's hard.
There's been seasons where the training is sparse, and then there's seasons where we really focus on it to be sure that everybody, a lot of times it's when we get a new crop of employees that need to start from scratch again.
Right.
But yeah, so we have our field supervisor and our service manager come into the sales meetings and teach a module on, let's say big-headed ants or fleas or ticks or whatever it is, so that happens as a portion of the sales meeting. And then vice versa, the, salespeople are welcome to come.
So your salespeople actually know what a big-headed ant looks like.
That's right.
Because a lot of people are like, you got a trail of, termites, and, and it's like, and it's like, this guy doesn't know anything,
Sure.
It's like his job is to get a contract.
Yeah.
And so I think that's vital. So I think, 35 years lets you make a lot of mistakes that you figure out how to iron that out. Right. Where when you're a small company starting out, you got to learn it from the hard way sometimes. I mean,
well, and anytime you add somebody new into the team,
right,
you have to bring them up to speed. Like it's not like you can just learn it once 10 years ago and it'll just always be that way. Yeah. No, you have to be constantly reviewing these things and keeping them in front of people and reminding, but in a way that you're not singling people out. Like, oh well, you misidentified this yesterday. And if you do it again, no, it's more like, hey, it's come to our attention that we need to do some more education on big-headed ants next week. So yeah, and you're gonna get some material you can take home, keep on file. We're gonna point you to the right material, but then we're also gonna have our service field supervisor come to the meeting and show you exactly what they're looking for, how to solve the problem, how to have that conversation with somebody if
they have general pest control, and oh man, now we've got a really bad problem with super colony ant.
Right.
We're gonna have to do a yard service. It's not including what they already are having done. You know, how do you approach that with somebody without, you know, causing a conflict?
Right.
That's all
I think, bro.
interdepartmental.
Right, bro. I think I think the audience will take a lot from this conversation because it's it's very different than a lot of the other companies that I talk to. I mean, everybody's got that I brought on the podcast has their uniqueness.
Sure.
And they have, I bring on great people that have a lot to share. You've got good. I think it'll come up backwards.
It will. Unless you
Okay,
flip it in the edit.
I'll flip it in the edit. There you
flip
go.
the whole video in the edit.
Yeah, it's not the good swing, but it's the good news. Good news pest solutions. You're out of what city?
So, I mean, we're in Sarasota County.
Right.
Our office is out of Nokomis / North Venice.
Okay.
But we service basically everything between Tampa and Fort Myers.
Tampa and Fort Myers. Nice.
On the West Coast.
Got it.
Yep.
All right. And I'm sorry, what was your name again?
I'm Adam Burnside.
And who's your dad?
Dean Burnside.
Dean. Shout out to Dean.
Yep.
All right, for getting a good son, because he's a good son. Okay. And for sharing the good news and for sharing with us. It's been a real pleasure, man.
Thanks.
Hanging out with you this weekend. It's been a blast. I know we talked in the past.
We have?
Yeah. And
I've sent you a referral to my friends down in Miami.
Yeah. So we've talked in the past, and eventually I get around to everybody.
Yep.
But I mean, there's only one of me in 365 days a year.
Yep.
So it's awesome. And then